Novus Ordo Seclorum, the New World Order. It's what Hitler envisioned. It's on the backside of the United States dollar bill. The eye of the pyramid, also called the eye of Horus, is the eye of Lucifer. This is what we are facing.
Well, as for the seal on the dollar bill, I've always found that one of the more absurd parts of conspiracy theory. If there was a conspiracy, why would they be advertising themselves out in public like that? A lot of conspiracy theorists seem to think conspirators go around doing two things: A, conspiring, and B, leaving clues behind so you can detect their conspiracies. That sounds rather ridiculous to me.
Just to give you an idea of how black is white and topsy is turvy in relation to our perception of what's going on compared with what is. In New York Harbor is a lady holding a lighted torch, a Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty, land of the free. That's what most Americans, 99.9% of them, believe that stands for. In fact, that was given to New York Harbor by French Freemasons who knew that it was an Illuminati symbolism of, we control the show, we're telling you, but because you don't know the secret language and we've given you another version of it, freedom, you don't know what's going on.
According to conspiracy theorists, this hybrid bloodline is active today within the major political and corporate institutions of the world. Through shadowy organizations such as the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and Trilateral Commission, the Illuminati seek to preserve their bloodline and control the world.
This is one of the best documented things in conspiracy literature. The number of presidents who have belonged to the Council on Foreign Relations is absolutely staggering. Working backwards, I can't remember what, Bill Clinton is a member, the president before him, George Bush was a member, the president before him, Ronald Reagan was a member, the president before him, Jimmy Carter was a member, and so on back. I don't know how many presidents they missed, but they got most of them.
You have Richard Holbrooke, Bill Clinton's peace envoy, Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations. He answered to the Secretary of State at the time in America, Warren Christopher, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission. And the Defense Secretary in America he answered to, William Perry at the time, Bilderberg Group. They answered to the President Bill Clinton, Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations. Why? Did the media not tell us that? Ask me why the Daily Telegraph didn't tell us that. Because it's owned by Conrad Black, who is an inner core member of the Bilderberg Group. Why didn't the Washington Post reveal, which I've been able to find out, that all these people are connected by the same organizations? Because the Washington Post is owned, at least officially, by Katharine Graham, Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations. The three television networks in America, ABC, CBS, and NBC, are owned and controlled by members of these organizations.
So how do you get to join Bilderberg, the most prestigious of the secret societies?
We tried to pick people who were going to have influence. That was the whole point of the thing, was to allow people who were likely to influence policy to learn more about the world in which they were living, and to meet people whom they wouldn't have any opportunity to meet in the ordinary course of events.
The agenda is to create the centralization of global power in all areas of our lives for a very simple reason. When you get to the core of this network of manipulation, you're looking, compared with the population of the Earth, at a very few people.
Ever since the Bilderberg Group first met in 1954, the exact purpose of the talks has never been fully explained. The delegates meet in secret for 3 days of discussions, but nothing they talk about is ever revealed afterwards.
The secrecy, or privacy it's better to call it, was well observed, although of course inevitably, because the meetings were private, they gave rise to conspiracy theories on both sides of the Atlantic. The American conspiracy theorists said it was a plot to undermine the United States. The European ones said it was an attempt to destroy left-wing governments all over Europe so that America could run Europe. But of course it was neither.
Nonetheless, the annual secret gatherings of Bilderberg continue to attract suspicion. In 1998, the chosen venue was Scotland. On discovering this, one Braveheart journalist tried to get in.
I had a tip-off from a contact that the Bilderberg group were going to hold their annual summit here at Turnberry. I only had a passing notion of who they were. I knew there was some sort of powerful group of men and women who met every year. Everywhere you looked within the grounds, there were either uniformed officers or other officers in combat-type uniforms guarding the entire grounds. The place was literally sealed off. I personally was left with a very strong impression that I didn't feel this was an entirely healthy thing.
Why the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergers, and similar groups, why are they so secretive? I have pondered and pondered and pondered on that question, trying to think of alternatives to the conspiracy theorist usual explanation. They're plotting nothing but unmitigated evil against the rest of us. And I think part of the answer is they are plotting unmitigated evil against the rest of us, and part of the answer is they're plotting things they don't want anybody else to know about for the same reason that all of us have things we'd rather keep private. No business allows people to come in off the street and examine their books and what research they're doing and so on. And there's a certain amount of secrecy that's just innate in the fact of organization. You don't want people outside the organization to know too much about what the organization is doing, even if it's harmless.
Conspiracy theories would seem to be about secret societies covertly running the world. But in addition to this, conspirologists also develop theories about overt organizations like the United Nations and NATO.
It's a very common belief on the part of right-wing organizations, especially in this country, that the United Nations is some kind of military political organization whose purpose is to take over and to basically stage a military invasion of the U.S. and use that as a springboard to establish this one world government, and that NATO is the force by which